Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the temple on Simhachalam hill near Visakhapatnam. The temple is the Sri Varaha and Narasimha Swami temple. It's a very ancient temple with recorded history and having a lot of significance. Sundaraya Subhangaya Mangalaya Mahavajase Simhachalam Nivasaya Sri Varaha and Narasimhaya Mangalam. Simhachalam is situated near Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, India. The nearest airport is Visakhapatnam and the nearest major railway station is also Visakhapatnam. It has a small railway station called Simhachalam, which is 12 kilometers from Simhachalam hill. Only few trains will stop here. The major bus stand is also Visakhapatnam. There are bus facilities to the hilltop from all over the city and also from nearby towns. There are about 1,000 steps to go to the hilltop, and there are also 2 roads formed to go to the hilltop by vehicles. Huge parking lots are provided on the hilltop. As told earlier, the Simhachalam temple is having history dating to Puranic period. We all know that in Hinduism we have the concept of Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Brahma is known as creator, Vishnu as protector, and Maheshwara or Shiva as destroyer. Out of these 3 gods, Vishnu plays a major role as far as the general people is concerned, as he had shown himself in many incarnations or avatars whenever there is a major trouble to the people or the earth. So we all know that Vishnu had famous 10 avatars, which is Matsya, fish, Kurma, turtle, Varaha, pig or boar, Narasimha, half-lion, half-human, Vamana, first human from form and dwarf, Parashurama, Rama, Krishna, Buddha and Kalki. So the present Simhachalam temple depicts 2 avatars, Varaha and Narasimha, in a single form. As per the Puranic history, the avatars of Varaha and Narasimha are associated with 2 doorkeepers, the Dwarpalakas of Vaikunta of Lord Vishnu, who are known as Jaya and Vijaya. They are cursed by 4 sons of Brahma to take life on earth by leaving Vaikunta. Then they pleaded Lord Vishnu to suggest them remedy for the curse. He suggested them to take 7 births as his disciples or 3 births as his strong opponents. In order to complete the period of curse at the earliest, they preferred to take 3 births as his strong opponents, but who always chant Lord Vishnu name in vengeance. In the first life, they are born as twins to Diti, daughter of Daksha Prajapati and says Kashyapa, and known as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Hiranyaksha has made the earth to drown into cosmic waters. Hence, to save the earth, Lord Vishnu incarnated as boar, Varaha, and released the earth from trouble by killing Hiranyaksha. Enraged Hiranyakashipu, the brother of Hiranyaksha, wanted to avenge death of his brother. So as to kill him, Lord Vishnu took avatar as Narasimha, as Hiranyakashipu got a boon from Lord Brahma that neither a human being nor an animal shall be able to kill him. So the Lord came as a combination of Nara, human, and Simha, lion. That is why it is called as Narasimha. So the fourth son of Hiranyaksha, Prahlada, became a staunch devotee of Lord Vishnu, which irked his father. So Bhakta Prahlada was made to face so many hardships, as he is always chanting Lord Vishnu name. Hiranyakashipu made several attempts to kill Prahlada, one of which is to throw him into the ocean. The servants of Hiranyakashipu took Prahlada to a hill on which it was believed that Simhachalam temple was built later, close to the ocean, as seen in the picture, so that they thought of throwing Prahlada into the ocean and wanted to place the hill on him, so that Prahlada will surely drown. So the servants tried to throw him from the top of the hill. But Lord Vishnu saved him by catching Prahlada into his both hands. Accordingly, the legend says that a temple was built on the hill Simhachalam, where the Lord saved Prahlada. After killing of the Hiranyakashipu in the form of Narasimha, Prahlada persuaded the angry Narasimha to become cool and requested Lord to present himself in a single and uniform form of his previous and present avatars, that is Varaha and Narasimha. The Lord Vishnu was pleased to appear in the present form of Varaha Narasimha, which is the principal deity of Simhachalam. According to the tradition, Prahlada was the first king to construct the temple for Lord Varaha Narasimha, and Prahlada performed the first Kalyanam to Lord Narasimha on Chaitra Suddha Ekadasi. All deities, gods, including Lord Shiva, attended his Kalyanam, the wedding. Lord Shiva liked Simhagiri and settled on this hill as Tripurantakeshwara. But by the end of the Krita Yuga, the temple began to crumble and fell into disuse and ultimately got embedded in the earth. Again, during the commencement of next Yuga, when Pururavas of Chandravamsa, the lunar dynasty, was travelling in the aerial chariot with his wife Urvashi, his chariot was drawn towards the Simhachalam hill by an unknown spiritual power. The Pururavas naturally grew eager to know the reason behind the mystic power and got the mound excavated to find Lord Varaha Narasimha embedded in the earth, to his utter surprise. No sooner than he exposed the image of Lord, he was warned by Akashvani to cover the image of the Lord with sandal paste instantaneously and order not to expose it, the Nijaswarupa, except on the third day in the month of Vaishakha. The icon is in white marble stone, is in Tribhanga posture with two arms, with the head of Varaha, boar, and the tail of lion, while the torso is that of a human being. The covered sandal paste resembles Shivalinga and known as Nityarupa.
Medieval history of Simhachalam temple. According to the prevalent belief and traditions here, Saint Ramanuja, the champion of Visishtadvaita, visited this place. The age-old traditions and antiquity can be realized from the fact that there are inscriptions in the temple dating back as 1087 AD of Chola king Kulottanga I. There was another report by historians that the temple was built by Anantavarman, probably around 1035 AD, and invited his maternal grandfather Kulottanga to see the temple. This ancient temple was renovated by the Chalukyas in the 11th century and again by Eastern Gangas in the 13th century. Tamil Cholas and Vijayanagara emperors also patronized briefly. Kalinga kings of Orissa served for longer period. The architectural style of the temple is a blend of Oriya and Dravidian. It is the second richest temple in India after Tirupati, with more than 252 inscriptions in Oriya and Telugu describing the antecedents of the temple. It is a historically important monument.
As told earlier, there is a lot of medieval history recorded in Simhachalam temple. The kings and the kingdoms keep on changing during those periods, but luckily all the kings and kingdoms whoever ruled the area of Simhachalam area have respected the traditions and practices of Simhachalam temple, and all the kings, queens and their followers and the local leaders and zamindars have also contributed a lot for the development of the temple. Many kings, there are so many records in the temple that many kings, queens have donated jewelry, wealth, lands, and also the items required for performing pujas, festivals are all gifted to the god. Out of all these gifts, the biggest record that is available till today is the Dana Sasanam made by Sri Krishna Devaraya of Vijayanagar Kingdom. He offered 991 pearls and other costly gifts, and the Dana Sasanam was dated March 29, 1516 AD. So, in recent years, the Simhachalam temple has opened a museum to display some of the jewelry that was gifted by the ancient kings and queens. So far, we have discussed about the ancient history, medieval history. And now coming to the reigns of French and British rule in India. The Bahmanis and Mughal dynasties occupied the region, and the Sultan Qutub Shah Ibrahim Aurangzeb named this region as Northern Sarkars. Later, this region was also governed by French, Dutch, and British for a long period. During this period, Zamindari system prevailed, of which Chalukyas of Alamanchali, the Matsyas of Vaddadi, and Pushpati Gajapati of Vijayanagar were quite important as far as Simhachalam temple is concerned. The Gajapati Jamindari started strong with Pusapati Madhava Varma around 1652, and the reign of this temple continued till to date with the family even after the independence of India. Sri Maharaja Sahib Pusapati Vijay Varma V. Gajapati Raju, popularly known as PVG Raju, was a hereditary trustee of Simhachalam temple and over 100 other temples in his former estate. He was a trustee for a very long period, up to 1995. At present, Sri Pusapati Ashok Gajapati Raju, former minister, MLA and MP, is a royal trustee of Simhachalam temple. The Simhachalam temple faces west, unlike so many other temples, which faces the east direction. It is believed that an east-facing entrance is said to bring prosperity, while the west-facing entrance brings victory. The Simhachalam temple, built on a hill, the temple has good carved halls with extensive application of both Chalukyan and Orisian styles of architecture. The temple comprises of a square shrine with a tall gopura and Mukhamandapa having a smaller circular tower over it. The Natya Mandapam has a stone car drawn by 2 horses and is enclosed by a veranda into which scenes from the Vishnu Purana have been sculpted with great skill. The temple artwork is similar to that of Konark, with elephants, flowers and plants carved into the walls and lintels. On the outer walls of the sanctum, images of King Narasimha are presented in various postures. The Kalyana Mandapam within the temple has 16 pillars, with a bas relief depicting the avatars of Vishnu. Outside the enclosure, to the north is a Kalyana Mandapam that has 96 beautifully carved pillars where the Kalyana Utsava is performed on the 11th day of Suklapaksha Chaitra Masa every year. Here, the Lord Vishnu is represented as Matsya, Dhanvantari, and Varuna. There are also many murtis of Lord Narasimha here. A perennial spring called Gangadhara is found here and is said to have medicinal properties. As told earlier, there is a 1906 pillared Kalyana Mandapa in the temple complex. The shape of the pillars, the ornamentation on them, and the cornices stand on a unique pedestal. To the right of the northern entrance is the 16-pillared Natya Mandapa. These pillars carry Simhalatas or lion's head at the base. While the Jagati or the railed parapet around the Artha Mandapa carries a row of well-sculpted elephants, which denotes strength. The inner Jagati around the Garbhagriha carries a row of swans. Just above this is a scroll work with sculpted figures at intervals. Then above this is a row of smaller Simhalatas intercepted by the other figures. The capital, architrave, frieze, and cornice of the column are beautifully shaped. In between the pillars is a convolution carrying figures. One of the pillars in the Mukhamandapa is named Kappastambam, which is very important for all the pilgrims whoever visit the temple. Almost every person who visits the temple would like to have a visit and pay tribute to the Kappastambam, which is known as pillar of tribute. It attracts large number of pilgrims, in part due to belief that the pillar has a power to cure cattle of diseases and to eliminate barrenness in men. Even now, there is a paid darshan for this Kappastambam, and mostly all the couples, whoever visits the temple, they make sure that they will have a darshan of this Kappastambam compulsorily. The peculiarity of the Simhachalam temple is everyone will have a unique opportunity of visiting the real idol, the actual idol, only one day in a year. The remaining all 364 days, the entire idol is covered by a huge quantity of sandal paste. That is why they call it the daily darshan structure as Nityarupa, and the original icon is known as Nijarupa. As told earlier, the shape of the icon is built with a white marble stone, which is about 2.5 feet high, and this has two armed human form, Tribhanga posture with two arms, and had a head of boar, that is a Varaha, and the tail of lion, thus making him unique, Lord Varaha and Narasimha. It is interesting to note that along with the Mola Bera, that is a Virat, all other five Beras are found for variety of occasions and use, and they are known as Utsava Bera, Kautuka Bera, Bali Bera, Snapana Bera, and Saina Bera. These five Beras altogether are in the metal except the Mola Bera, which is in the stone. In addition to this main idol, the temple also has shrines of Andal, Lakshmi, Alvar, Vaisaka Mandapa, Jasta Mandapa, Ramanujakutam, kitchen and Tirthavari, that is the bathing ghat, are found. Similarly, there are temples of Sita Ramaswamy, Kashi Vishweshwara and Hanuman are present on the hill. Simhachalam is known as the second richest temple in Andhra Pradesh after Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. Recently, the state government had removed all the colonies on the hill and also shifted the shopping centers to a distant place from the temple. New chowdhuries and queue complexes are being developed at a huge cost, and the second road to the hilltop is also laid. The state government has approved a master plan to develop Simhachalam into a Divya Kshetram on the lines of Tirumala, and also the central government is giving coverage under the Prasad scheme for development of the temples. There are many temples on the Simhachalam hill, the major being the Kashi Vishwanath Swami temple, Simhahalli Tayaru temple, which is known as Bhudevi temple, Tripurantaka Swami temple, and then Sitarama Swami temple, which is situated near the Gangadhara. And also there is a Anjaneya Swami temple on the steps, and on the downhill there is a Venkatesh Swami temple, Bhairava Swami temple near Adavivaram, and Madhava Swami temple, Venugopala Swami temple, and Mallikarjuna Swami temple at Madhavadara. The traditions of the Simhachalam temple follow the Sattvata Samhita of Pancharatra Agama mode of worship. The Nitya Puja starts from the early morning by awakening of the Lord, and several rituals are performed during the day. And finally, the god is put to sleep at the bedchamber in Sayana Mandira in the night. In addition to regular rituals and pujas, there are seva and kalyanam rituals performed in the daily basis in the temple. In addition to this daily pujas and sevas and kalyanam, major festivals and fairs conducted in the temple is Varshika Kalyanam in April month, Chaitra Suddha Ekadashi, Chandanotsavam during Akshaya Tritiya, Ashada Paurnami in the Ashada Masam, Pavitrotsavam in Bhadrapada Masam, Sri Krishnashtami in Bhadrapada Masam, Vijayadashami in Aswaja Masam, Mukkota Ekadashi in Margashira Suddha Ekadashi, Teppotsavam in Pushya Masam, and Radha Saptami, that is Surya Jayanti, in Magha Masam. Some of the major festivals celebrated in Simhachalam are mainly the Giri Pradakshina festival, which is also known as Grama Pradakshina festival, that is circumambulating the hill. All the deities, lakhs of people, will walk around the temple hill, that is Simhachalam hill, which is nearly 16 kilometers in length. In addition to Giri Pradakshina, other celebrations are Narasimha Jayanti, Kamadahana, Kalyanavotsavam, Makaraveta, but above all, the major festival, another major festival is the Chandanotsavam.
Chandanotsavam. This is probably one of the earliest festivals to be celebrated from the very inception of the temple and continued till date. It is observed on the Akshaya Tritiya day in the month of Vaishakha, as this day is considered to be the most sacred, as it is Vishnu Preeti Divas. On this day, the sandal paste covering the deity is removed and the original form, that is Nijaswarupa of the deity, is exposed and revealed. The Nijaswarupa can be seen for 12 hours from dawn to dusk. Later, the sandal paste is applied on layers of silk cloth on the deity, and the massive application gives the look of a linga in form and shape. After the removal of sandal paste, Panchamrita Abhishekam is performed, and the Naivedyam is not offered when the Nijaswarup is revealed to view. Instead, all the three food offerings of the day, Balabhoga, Rajabhoga, and Ratri Avasara, are offered together in the night. The sandalwood paste required for covering the deity is 12 maunds, which is huge quantity. Thus, the process of covering the deity with sandal paste is done on 3 days. The first phase is done on Narasimha Jayanti, second phase on Ashada Suddha Paurnima, and the last phase on the Suddha Paurnima in the month of Jyesta. On the Chandanotsavam day, huge number of pilgrims visits the shrine, which is headed by the hereditary trustee and the representatives of the state government. This age-old festival is gaining popularity as time progresses. Cultural backdrop, Fine Arts and Educational Center. The music which attracts all, Sisurveti Pasurveti Ganam, became an indispensable and integral part of worship in our culture. The temple at Simhachalam, like other temples, did patronize this art by employing a select band of professionals consisting of vocalists, dancers, instrumentalists, and others, etc., whose primary duty was to please the Lord with their skills and to dedicate those proficiencies at his holy feet. A Simhachalam inscription informs us that Narasimha once General Actai erected the Natya Mandapa of the temple in Saka 1160, and the king appointed 100 of Kumaris to sing in the temple. Narasimha Bharati Sripada, the great Vaishnava saint and exponent of Madhava Mahavada, arranged for Nama Samkirtana at Simhachalam with 2 flute players and 8 musicians, as known from an inscription dated Saka 1281, whereas Govinda Jiyana also arranged for Nama Sankirtana according to the rules of Oriya Sampradaya in temple in Saka 1312. Like these arrangements, there are so many inscriptions describing the arrangements made by so many rulers, locals, and governments, etc. Further, the temple was a seat of learning which maintained ghatikas and nurtured different faculties of learning. It is also patronized Vedic learning. The earliest inscription to mention the Vedic learning is dated 1201 AD, which states that endowments were made to the gurus who taught Yajurveda. Another important record mentions that endowments, that is Nibandhanams, were made to scholarly Brahmins, Ghadisasulaina Brahmanas, who taught the Khandava and Taittiriva sakas of the Yajurveda.
There are 2 famous poets who are associated with the history of the Simhachalam. They are Krishnamacharya and Kormanada Kavi. The Kormanada Kavi, who is believed to live during 1720 to 90, sang Simadri Narasimha Satakamu in a single go, which is mostly emotional in nature. Sri Kurmanada was an employee of temple division of Vijayanagara Gajapati dynasty during Posapati Chanavijayarama Gajapati reign. The Satakamu comprises of 101 verses, hence known as Satakamu, which he composed emotionally, also known as Asukavitamu, standing before the deity only on one leg, rebuking and appealing to Lord Narasimha to defend himself and the Hindu's tradition believes, as some of the Mughals started destroying the temple. And the Satakamu states that by the time the 67th verse was completed, a huge swarm of bees emanated from the temple and chased the invaders. Added to this, local Hindus must have pursued and driven them out of the kingdom. The swarm, it is believed, disappeared into a hill near outskirts of Visakhapatnam, precisely around Shipyards India area, which is still called as Tummedalametta, Bees Hill. However, after the bees episode, after all the invaders have fled away due to the bees attack, in verse 69, he praises the Lord, saying that you have chased the Arabs to the Bees Hill on the outskirts of Visakhapatnam. In verse 78, he cajoles the Lord by saying that as you are tired of chasing the invaders, come and rest, my Lord, I will massage your sensitive feet. Prior to this incident, another important poet is Krishnamacharya, who is believed to be born in 2030 AD, has become a staunch devotee of Simhachalanada at the age of 14. It was believed that he could make the Lord to appear before him as a child. He was attracted to the Devadasi system and became a Bhoga Bhakta for about a decade. Then after some time, some saints from Ahobilam visited him probably around 1275 AD and requested him to show them the reincarnated God in him. At their request, he turned into a sadhu and sang devotionally about Simhachalanada, for which it is believed that the Lord himself appeared as a child and danced in trance. The Simhachalam temple and the deity has a very strong influence on the locals. Since the time immemorial, names like Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Varaha Narasimha, Varaha Rao, Appanna, Appala Narasimham, Appala Naidu, Appala Raju, Appala Narasimham, Appayamma, Apparao, Appalakonda, Simhachalam and Simhadri are the general names used for the local people not only in the vicinity of Visakhapatnam but all along the state. In fact, the only Prime Minister from Andhra Pradesh is also having a name P.V. Narasimha Rao. As seen in Kalinga Kings, Narasimha 1 to Narasimha 4, there are even so many kings who is named after the Simhachalam deity. In my personal experience, we found that our forefathers, my grandparents' grandparents, have also donated some cows to give ghee for the Akhanda Deepam. This record was made in 1840. In one inscription, some parts of the donated lands were entrusted to cultivators called as Thotadasarlu, who were required to supply flowers daily to the deity. Now there is a community known as Dasarlu or Dasarollu. Most of the people donated 25 cows as a standard to supply ghee for burning a perpetual lamp known as Akhanda Deepam. The office of the Parikshaka was introduced in the temple during the Eastern Ganga rule.
Water flow on Simhachalam hills. Sri Varaha Lakshmi Narasimha Swami temple, the one and only unique temple in the world, which is endowed with free supply of water from a natural stream that flows down the hills round the clock and throughout the year. The temple, which is located high above the sea level, has been blessed with water springs Gangadhara, Nagadhara, Sagidhara, Madhavadhara, Akasadhara, Sikudhara, Pulletidhara, and Pichukadhara. Spiritual message of Simhachalam. It may be taken that the Bahya Rupa, that is the external form, resembles Saivate icon, while the Antar Rupa, that is the internal form, resembles combination of Vishnu incarnation. This reminds of the famous Advaitic belief Sivaya Vishnu Rupaya Siva Rupaya Vaishnave. Sivascha Hrudayam Vishnur, Vishnascha Hrudayam Sivaha. The Swayam Rupam of Lord Vishnu can be taken as personification, while the earlier forms of his incarnation as Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha can be taken as Tadetatmaka Rupam. The next incarnations are taken as Avesa Rupam, which resembles the force in the individuals who imbibed his ideologies. Varaha symbolizes the ability to dig into seemingly murky environments. This is succinctly illustrated in a story where Vishnu assumes the form of Varaha and tries to dig down to reach the feet of Lord Shiva. A useful interpretation is that one has to look for and reach the roots of the body of knowledge or problem. The Simhachalam shrine is surrounded by beautiful forests, mostly consisting of trees like sampange and jackfruit.